is back. You cannot be a perfect ambassador. Cover by Cena. Cover by Cena. Pack's in the ring. John Cena has set the record. John Cena is the 17th-time world champion.
Welcome to Boys in the Burg, the podcast all about Pittsburgh, these boys, and today about Wrestlemania 41 in not Pittsburgh, in Las Vegas, Sin City. And as you heard about the record-setting 17th World Championship for John Cena. My name is Chris Speranza.
Hey, I'm JJ Speranza.
And one's a wrestling fan and one is not. So get ready for this mixture.
I was thinking about this as you were doing the introduction that it happened. WrestleMania took place in Sin City on Easter Day. Come on.
What do you mean? Come on! It made Easter more interesting.
Easter morning interesting?
Yeah, I just what I did was I watched WrestleMania on Saturday, went to sleep, woke up, went to church for the first time in a long time, and then watched WrestleMania. Like, had family over for Easter, was like, this was a good time. And then as soon as it hit 4 or 5 o'clock, I was like, I'm sorry, my tribal chief, you have to leave.
Everyone has to leave right now. Leave me the chocolates.
Yep. So that's how we'll talk about that. How'd your Easter go?
Our Easter went great. So Katie and I live right down here toward the beach area in Wilmington. So we spent Saturday at the beach, hanging out, getting sunburnt, and then getting some gluten-free pizza with shrimp on it and stuff. And then went to Myrtle Beach yesterday and had a really, really good time there. So there was an Easter egg hunt on the beach for the kiddos and stuff. It was like a beach Easter. We loved it.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun time. Me just went to church for the first time in a long time, and it wasn't a Catholic church; it was a Christian church.
Where'd you go?
It was a cool church, as I call it, because we went in there. Guy was super happy and introduced himself to us. I don't know if he was the pastor or whatever. He said, "Hey, there's free coffee inside." I said, "I think I'm going to be going to this church every Sunday now."
What church was it at? Where was that?
I forget what it's called, but it's like right down the street from me. And you go in there, and they had a band set up, and there was a countdown clock. And as soon as it hit 0, the band started playing Christian music, and I was like enjoying my free coffee while just jamming to the song I didn't know the words to, and just it was a good old time. And then they talked about Easter, and we all know what happened. He rose from the third day, and then it was a good time. And by the time the service ended, I was done with my coffee.
There you go. And that's how our church is too. We recently started volunteering at our church, and they do the same thing with the countdown. The band plays. Oh my gosh, they were wound for sound on Sunday. They were playing, like, we were screaming when we were singing. It was a really, really fun time. But that's great that you found a church near you that does that, because I apologize to any Catholics out there for saying this. Catholic Church gets a little monotonous sometimes.
Wait a minute, you said you volunteer. Aren't you a former bass guitar player?
I am, but right now I'm just greeting.
Praise Jesus, JJ's playing bass at the church.
We'll see what happens there. I will say that I am interested in working with their production team and learning how to do sound mixing and like video stuff.
I love sound mixing. It is so much fun. And
it looks like fun.
You're in control of the music. Like, you are the man.
There's a role there, and there's a role as director where you can sit there and you have a little microphone and you're like, camera 1, switch, go. And like you like show, like, because they broadcast it online, and you can like, you're in charge of like what people see online.
So you'd be in charge. You'd be like Triple H. You'd be the creative director of everything, and just seeing how the cameras go. And then, other than people playing music, you're directing like how the match goes.
You know what? In a way, yeah, you're right. In a way.
See, you could tie anything into wrestling.
You sure can. It's like you say any word in Greek and I'll tell you the background. It's wrestling.
Exactly. And so going to wrestling, how much WrestleMania did you watch this weekend?
None. I watched it all today.
You knew the episode was going to be WrestleMania.
I had a busy weekend. We had family in town. We were
I did
doing
too.
stuff.
I had to kick them out. They were in my way.
Yeah, well, Myrtle Beach is an hour and a half away. All right, you had your party at your house.
So okay, so that's fine. But well, you said you watched the highlights real quick.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I did watch the actual match highlights too. Like I didn't just watch like the clips. Like I watched decent amount of it, and it seemed like there was some great pops. There was some great stuff going on. It looked great.
You heard you heard the ending of the match. I just played in the beginning of the episode.
Yes, I did, and I was actually pretty shocked at that until I saw how it ended.
Fiend.
It's my favorite song.
I hope it was because they played it over and over and over again.
Yeah, because it took him 6 hours to walk down the ramp.
He didn't have his sage on him though.
His what?
It's basically his weed, but just like his sage.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I love it. Yeah, where do you want to start with this WrestleMania? Because I assume you watched the whole thing.
I did watch the whole thing, and then I'm gonna watch the Raw after Mania tonight because we're recording on a Monday, and then this episode will release every Wednesday. And just want to say, we got more followers and everything like that. I just want to thank everyone who takes a minute to listen to this episode, or even take the whole hour to listen to the episode, because it's not easy. As you said, you're busy. You're in Myrtle Beach. Not everyone has time to listen to a podcast. So if you're listening right now, thank you. And I appreciate you.
We are eventually going to post episodes of, you can see Chris and I, our faces soon here. Not quite yet, but we're working on something like that.
We need a better background.
I need a better background?
We need a better background.
I was going to say, I have my cats in the background always.
Yeah, your cats are in the background. And for me in the background, there's wood paneling. And both of us have our ceiling fans going.
That's true. Well, listen, guys, my brother is very handsome. So, like, whenever you finally get to watch this, you'll see he's a good looking dude.
Yeah. And you'll see that my brother, he's also a very bald looking dude.
Very sunburnt dude.
So, yeah, let's start from the beginning. Why not? So,
it's a very good place to start.
Let's go from night one of WrestleMania. And you know how we like to keep these episodes about an hour. Because you didn't watch WrestleMania, we'll probably fly through this in 10 minutes. So, Jey Uso and Gunther in a match. So, did you watch any highlights of this match?
I watched the Spanish announcers were trying to yell "yeet, yeet," and the dude smacked the other dude's headphones off.
What? I didn't see that.
What? Oh man, it was on the top 10 things that weren't supposed to happen at WrestleMania.
Is that a list from Bleacher Report?
Yeah.
Was number 1 Stone Cold Steve Austin driving the quad into that woman?
No, it was all from WrestleMania 41.
No, that's legit what happened.
Wait, this year's?
Yeah.
Wait. Let's hold on. Jey Uso beat Gunther.
Okay, Jey Uso beat Gunther. So I'll tell you what I really liked about this match, and you probably didn't watch it, but I'll tell you what I liked. So the storyline leading into it is Gunther is this monster who doesn't care about anything. So one of the lead up that they did was Gunther zip tied Jey Uso's arm to the ring ropes, and Gunther beat the crap out of Jimmy Uso, his twin brother, made him bleed and put him in a chokehold, and blood got all over Gunther and everything, and it was a really cool sight. So yeah. And Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, which is why he was facing Gunther. What I liked about this match is, one, it was the first match, and the entrance he had with the people dancing and people with flags running down the aisle that say yeet, and him entering through the crowd. That was a great way to start WrestleMania. What I liked is the story that was told in the ring was Jey Uso basically being so you beat up my twin brother and I'm going to be more serious. Like, this is something no one's really done, is he used Gunther's finishing moves on him.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he won the match. So Gunther, one of his finishing moves is a power bomb, and Jey Uso hit a power bomb, a flying splash. Jey Uso did a flying splash, and then finally how he finished him off was a chokehold and submission, which is what Gunther did to his twin brother, when he was bloodied up. So I was one that caught that. I was like, okay, I see how they finished that, and I see why that worked.
I like it. Okay.
Anything else you want to add?
My thing was, I was surprised that the first thing they did was the World Heavyweight Championship match. Like the very first, right off the bat, like, all right, here we go. We're going right into it.
So I feel like the last time they did that was it started becoming a thing, because like WrestleMania 28 started with that, with Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, but that match lasted 28 seconds or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think they did it another time. It's like WrestleMania, whatever one it was like Edge versus Chris Jericho. I think that's another one that might have started off the night. Or no, it was like Alberto Del Rio and someone else.
Oh, gotcha. Well, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about them starting off with that?
So they were kind of in a tough spot, because whoever wins the Royal Rumble should be the main event. But also, I think the better storyline should be in the main event also. So they did the gimmick of like one of CM Punk's favors from Paul Heyman was him being in the main event of WrestleMania. So I think that was a good way to kind of like horseshoe that in.
That's fair. Is it really the main event if it's Saturday night though?
Yes, it does count as a main event.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Especially since that was the match of the weekend, but we're not going to get to that yet.
I will say it does look like a nice little sandwich on my notes, because it starts off with the World Heavyweight Championship and ends with the WWE World Championship. So it's kind of like that, like you got your bread, which is the championships, and everything in the middle, all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. And also the predictions. We gotta see who won.
Oh, okay. So that was Jey Uso and Gunther. I chose Gunther. You chose Jey Uso.
1-0. Yeah.
So one for
Or
Chris.
shall I say, yeet?
Oh my gosh, yeet! Like, come on, come on, man. Good for Jay. I think I was only cheering for Gunther because his name was Walter at one point.
Yeah, he was Walter, and the fans used to chant Walter, Walter.
Yeah, that's all I have for that match, though.
I just forgot to say, Triple H kicked off the show and said, "Welcome to WrestleMania."
Did they do any musical numbers? Did they do any like
what are you doing here? What have you done?
Slap you for disrespecting me.
I mean, they had. Let me see. I'll try and go off memory here. Let's see. The next match was the New Day versus the War Raiders. Which, first of all, before I find who else was like the musical performances, I like that the New Day came out with the what was the guy's name? The John Gonzalez attire. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, that was cool.
That was really cool. Let me see. Musical performances. LA Knight came out in a fancy car. Tiffany Stratton did the Barbie dollhouse thing.
Didn't Slayer, like someone from Slayer, come out and play something?
Slayer came out to do Damian Priest. That's night 2.
That was okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So the New Day defeat the War Raiders. I mean, fine match. There was like you said, there's a lot of random horseshoe random matches. The thing that would have been great is on the Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania, there were 3 tag teams that were fighting over the SmackDown Championship, which is the WWE Tag Team Championship. And they announced that as a triple threat tag team ladder match for the next week on SmackDown and not WrestleMania.
What?
I know.
That's so lame. Oh, but I mean, okay.
I don't know why they could have made that work. Because like if you look So what WWE does now is like they will do a match, and then for 15 or 20 minutes is just a bunch of advertisements, bullcrap, and everything like that, which is the new WWE now. Because they'll announce a match and they'll be like, this match is brought to you by Dude Wipes. So
Well, it's no longer pay-per-view. It's not like you're paying for it, yes, but like it's just there's so many people watching it. It's just different now.
and I guess they got to make up their money somehow. So all that advertising, like you see how the wrestling ring has a bunch of advertisements in there now.
Yeah, I think I saw like Tostitos pizza rolls or something like that at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Guys, let's promote broccoli. Why do we gotta do pizza rolls?
because that's what makes money, JJ.
Poison. Anyway.
Okay. Jade Cargill defeats Naomi by pinfall. That was a fun match. I enjoyed the match. Trying to think of memorable moments. She had a nip slip. I know that.
Fantastic for that performer.
Yeah, but still, like Jade Cargill, she did I think one of the things that was impressive is she ended up doing a electric chair into a power bomb, which was really cool. So she had her up on her shoulders, but it was weird. She like threw her up in the air into the power bomb, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're very talented, as we talked about last week. Naomi. Right? She's been around for a long time now.
Yeah. Let me back it up for a second. What tag team did you pick? The New Day or War Raiders?
We both picked New Day.
Yeah. New Day won.
And then you chose Jade, and I chose Naomi.
I chose Jade?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're kicking my butt.
All right. And then the next match on there, Jacob Fatu defeats LA Knight. Yeah. By pinfall.
It was funny that the picture of like them introducing this match online was Jacob Fatu upside down and LA Knight like pooping his pants.
So what do you mean?
Jacob Fatu was flying through the air upside down, getting ready to land on top of LA Knight.
Oh, yeah. Because
sorry, I totally did not say that right.
he does that really cool move where it's just like he jumps from the second rope to the top rope and does a moonsault.
Yep.
Which is insane he's like your body type.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He is a big dude, and he can move. He can really move.
Let me ask you something. Would you still ever consider becoming a pro wrestler, JJ?
You move to the beach, and I'll be a wrestler.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And once again, you chose Fatu. I chose LA Knight.
Yeah. Some highlights of that match. I would say the werewolf mask that he put on as he entered the ring. I thought that was a really cool thing. Solo Sikoa was a super hype, like making it like with Jacob Fatu. I thought that was a very good match. LA Knight, there was a spot. What did they do? He did I think it was a German suplex from like the top rope, and like Jacob Fatu did a full backflip and landed on his stomach. It was a very good match. I enjoyed it.
I mean, those are two very talented athletes. You know, they just in general, they're very talented athletes. So the fact that they were flying around doing all those moves, it was like just watching the highlights, it looked impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet the highlights were great.
I was busy.
So another thing, I tried calling you because there were a couple audibles that happened.
There sure were.
Yeah, so that brings up the next match, which is El Grande Americano defeats what was supposed to be Rey Mysterio, but he injured himself on Friday Night SmackDown, so he was replaced by someone you remember from Lucha Underground, Rey Fenix.
Rey Fenix, he looks exactly like Rey Mysterio, so it was like a trade-in for the exact same thing.
Oh, and also the huge announcement prior to WrestleMania starting, they bought a Lucha. I'm trying to say it.
Yeah, the AAA, right?
Yeah, they bought AAA.
It's called the like something, but like a luchador group was purchased by WWE.
Yeah, like you not being a wrestling fan, just like, what do you feel?
I think that's awesome. I think for so long we've had muscle men beat the crap out of each other, and that's pretty much it. And like there's been some like shining lights here and there, but there's not much diversity. It's like the old days had the Iron Sheik and Jinder Mahal and a bunch of really cool like people who were ethnic, and now it's just kind of like John Cena, Triple H, The Rock. Like, come on, mix up a little bit.
Yeah, so adding this, adding the luchadors in there, Vikingo, you're gonna like him. He was in AEW for a couple matches, and he was really good.
Okay.
So Rey Fenix loses to El Grande Americano, and you should have seen the opening promo they did for him. Do yourself a favor and watch the opening promo, because it's just like him. They're pretending to do like subtitles on there, and he's talking, and he's just like, "I am El Grande Americano," and it's fantastic. And he's coming out to the ring, and it's just a style, Mexican music style, mariachi band style of American music as he's going to the ring. And it's just like
Why? Where did they come up with this idea for Chad Gable to do all this stuff?
because he wants to be the master of the luchadors, but we don't know if that's Chad Gable or not.
Oh, of course. Right. That's right.
Even
we
though,
do know.
Even though Chad Gable says thank you, and El Grande Americano says gracias.
Oh my god!
And people will be like, "That's Chad Gable," and he'll go, "Silencio."
Was there some type of controversy with like a metal plate in his mask?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he put a metal plate in his mask and he cheated to win.
Oh, boo, Chad. I mean, Americano.
Mm-hmm. And Rey Fenix did that really cool spot where he like runs on the top rope and kicks the guy in the face. But El Grande Americano had a metal plate under his mask.
I just want to keep saying caramel mixed frappuccino. Caramel mixed frappuccino, Grande did great.
So, who did you pick to win, even though there was an audible called?
I picked Rey Mysterio. You picked Americano. Oh, no. Wait. You picked Rey Mysterio. I picked Americano.
You did it. You won.
No, we're tied.
We're tied?
Ooh. Yeah.
What's the record right now?
4-4.
4-4. Okay. For anyone who wants to be invested in this. All right. Tiffany Stratton defeats Charlotte Flair by pinfall. First of all, who picked who?
I picked Stratton. You picked Flair.
What? Oh my god! I was like watching this WrestleMania, being like, I can't believe. Well, I was thinking about these predictions the whole time, and
I was too. And while I was reading the highlights, I was like, oh crap, who won this? Who won? It's gonna be close. It's gonna be so close.
So Tiffany Stratton did something really cool. She came out to like a Barbie Dream House deal. So there was 3 big boxes on the stage that were covered by curtains. And once they were all removed, the one on the one side had Tiffany Stratton as a boxer. The one on the other side had Tiffany Stratton just looking normal. And then it was the real Tiffany Stratton in the middle. So they did a little jig for like a minute, and then she came out through the box and made her way to the ring. It was really cool.
What was that? Obviously Barbie, but what was that in reference to? Like, is she called Barbie or something like that?
So no, I think it's just the fact that like she's blonde and kind of looks like Barbie, and it just kind of worked out. Honestly, to me, she sounds like Sharpay from High School Musical.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah, because she says it's Tiffy time.
Oh no. And she thought the queen.
And then she would say bye to people, and she'd go, toodles. Tell me that's not Sharpay. Tell me that's not Sharpay Evans.
It pretty much is. And I wasn't expecting how over she was with the crowd, too. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, for someone who hasn't watched wrestling in a while, first of all, it probably, to you, it looked like it was like, one person facing their twin, because they were both blondes. They were both kind of wearing pink clothing. But was there anything that made someone stand out to you or anything like that?
No, because I know who Charlotte is. So like I was able to distinguish between them.
All right, so now you know who Tiffany Stratton is.
Yeah. I keep thinking Stratton like Wolf of Wall Street, and that was like how I like kept my mind right. I was like, oh right, Wolf of Wall Street, Stratton.
Mm-hmm. All right, main event, night 1. Seth Rollins defeats CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Seth who?
Seth freaking Rollins. He is a revolutionary. He is a visionary. He is Seth freaking Rollins, who I know for a fact I said he was going to win and Paul Heyman was going to join his side. Boom shakalaka.
You called that from the get-go. I was actually, that was like where most of the highlights were at, was that match, because that match was incredible.
Now, watching that, like, you see Paul Heyman turn on CM Punk first, right?
Yep.
And then you see him joining forces with Roman Reigns. First of all, Paul Heyman, to think he's still relevant now, how crazy is that for you, who's like in and out with wrestling?
I mean, as relevant as he's ever been, too. Like, the dude is just incredible.
My favorite part was him crying and going on his knees and waddling over to Roman Reigns with the chair.
The funny thing is, it's not the first time he's done that. Like, come on, guys.
And so he turns on CM Punk, turns on Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins does always a plan B, chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns, curb stomp, 1, 2, 3.
CM Punk never had a chance.
I saw something that was like online that said Seth Rollins, he is a main eventer, but never felt like a main eventer because he's missing one piece. And it seems like Paul Heyman is that piece to probably get Seth Rollins to the next level.
Do you agree with that?
I do. I mean, Paul Heyman, for the most part, has been getting people up to where they need to be. Because remember, he also used to try and manage Curtis Axel and Ryback, which didn't work very well at all.
I feel like back in those days, it was like caged animal controller, you know, like it was like, this is the out of control human that will eat you if I don't say stop.
Exactly. That's exactly what Paul Heyman is. He's also a pretty good hype man.
Yeah. What, Barack Lesnar?
Mm-hmm. No, he says every single letter in his name. He says Barack Lesnar. Like, he says it like that.
Very lots of enthusiasm with everything he does, and I think I agree with you. It's going to be a good combination with those two.
Yeah, and who did you pick to win that?
I picked. I chose CM Punk.
Well, you chose wrong.
I did, and we're tied. We're tied 5-5.
I thought you said it was a blowout. Like, you said I was gonna win.
You were blowing it out of the water, and then those past like 3, I caught up.
Yeah, night 2 is gonna be tough because I feel like I did not do well for night 2. So let's go to night 2. Also, Shawn Michaels announces the attendance for the night, 61,000 something. I don't know. I thought it'd be more people. Maybe they're being more honest because it's 2 nights now, and tickets are over like $1,000 for the cheapest one. So,
That's the thing. Like these big events, like WrestleMania and the Super Bowl, like it's easier to watch it on TV and just watch and just eat food. You know.
mm-hmm, yeah. Because if you're like all the way up in the nosebleed seats, it's like, why pay?
As we talked about last week.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
First match to start off, and this kind of goes with you with the sandwiching in stuff, because they start off with the Women's World Championship, which is Io Sky defeated Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Now, we both picked Rhea Ripley. I know that.
Yep.
So I did not know that the storyline going in was, Io Sky was the outsider, even though she was the champ. Like, they were just like, no, this is between you and me. Who's that person behind us? Like, I didn't know it was like that the whole time. If I knew the storyline was like that, I would have picked Io Sky from the start.
I mean, I'm starting to feel like the WWE is doing the same exact thing they did with Finn Balor, where they're like, this person is incredible. They have this edge to them. They have all this talent. With Rhea Ripley, what do we do now? We've already done. I'm running out of ideas. What do we do with her?
No, I think she can still keep going. Like, Rhea Ripley, I think, is just scratching the surface of, like...
I hope so. I
Yeah.
really do hope so.
Because she's awesome. Like, she is super strong, and not in a weird way, but, like, also good looking and just, like, has, like, the total package. Can cut a promo and everything like that, I think, and looks different. That's very important.
She's very over with all the fans. Everyone is huge fans of her for a good reason.
And just standing out and looking different. But Io Sky, she's just so freaking athletic. That moonsault that she does is
Oh, it's beautiful. It's the perfect moonsault.
yeah, but and it's hard because it feels like everyone does a moonsault. Jacob Fatu does a moonsault. Yes,
That one's a little bit more impressive, though.
yeah. It's like, well, how much do you weigh? Watch this.
I'm pretty sure my thing for that guy, whenever we did our Royal Rumble, was I go to Ponderosa. Yes, I eat the salad. But Io Sky, did you ever watch the Deadpool movie, the second one?
I actually never seen the second one.
Ah, never mind. I won't even tell my joke then. So I just thought that was a really fun match to watch. Easter was yesterday, JJ. Easter was yesterday.
Match number 2. So this is when the guitar player from Slayer played out Damian Priest. However, Drew McIntyre defeated him in the Sin City Street Fight, which notable spots. Damian Priest trying to do the luchador thing or the Undertaker old school move, but gets pushed off. And I think the really awesome finish of Damian Priest's head in between the chair that was set up in the corner and the Claymore kick through it, which was awesome.
Those were, I like the face that Blundertaker makes whenever he's trying to do old school and he gets pushed off into the tables. He just kind of goes, oh, like grabs his head and just kind of falls back.
I think that was a way to protect their head, JJ.
I know that, but it looked like Dennis the Menace. Oh.
Who did you pick?
I picked Damian Priest. You picked McIntyre. I still think McIntyre reminds me of Paul Burchill, and I need to stop thinking that. I need to stop thinking that.
This is my sister. She loves her big brother.
Stop it, Paul.
Oh yeah, I was like, I sent you that YouTube video. How about the other YouTube video I sent you of John Cena's press conference?
It reminded me so much of I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's exactly what WWE put. They tweeted it, and they put that exact quote in there.
It just sounds like clickbait. I don't want to answer that.
ESPN, a very reputable source.
John Cena.
That kind of sounds like clickbait, and that's very poor journalism. Next question.
He pulls off that straight man so well, like just
like
I don't know how we didn't laugh.
Straight face, deadpan, just that kind of delivery.
But yeah, I going back a little bit to the Sin City Street Fight. It was cool to see like an ECW type of match in there, and it sounds like it turned out really well.
Which is why I think they needed the ladder match, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The next match is something that was just, I don't even know what I think about this next one. What do you think, Chris?
Well, Dominic Mysterio defeats Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta.
Braun Breaker threw, sorry for kids at home, he threw asses around and lost. How does he lose that?
So one of the funniest things that led up to that, first of all, I should have picked Dominic to win because the storyline was right there. Like, Dominic was definitely going to pin Finn Balor, member of the Judgment Day. The funniest thing was 2 weeks ago, Carlito took the best spear I've ever seen in my life. And then a week ago, they were standing in the same spot and Braun Breaker was about to spear Carlito and Carlito ran away. And then there was a spot at WrestleMania where Carlito was on the tape, on one table, and Braun Breaker was on the other, and Carlito slowly turns around. He's like, oh no. Takes a spear through the table. That was one of the funniest things I saw in that match.
That was amazing in the highlight. Now, dude, I gotta say, Carlito, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. Last time I heard about Carlito was 20 years ago when he was first brought into WWE. And he cut the promo of spitting apples in people's faces.
Because they weren't cool.
They weren't. Does he still do that?
He does spit apples in people's faces still, yes.
What a man. I love it.
Yeah. And, he spits in the face of people who are not cool. I was trying to think of something else. When he stabbed John Cena in the nightclub.
Oh my God, that's right. That was it. That was the big one.
But it was his partner, Jesus.
Oh man. So yeah, Dominic Mysterio wins.
Who did you pick to win?
And the crowd goes mid. I I chose Finn Balor. You chose Penta.
Now, let's reverse that, JJ. The crowd went wild for
Yeah,
Dominic.
they did.
They went
really did.
insane for Dominic Mysterio. It was insane. So, like, he is, as they say in the business, he is over with the crowd. It's sometimes when someone's a bad guy for so long, but like the stupid stuff that you do as a heel, because you can get away with doing that as a heel, like doing stupid stuff, saying like, I like chicken tenders. I like chicken tendies. Like, that was one of his big things. Then all of a sudden fans are like giving him chicken tenders and stuff during matches. Like, it's one of those things where you're a bad guy for so long, but you do so many stupid things because you can get away with it, that like the crowd is just like, I really like the stupid things he's doing. Like, he is, I think we want him to be the Intercontinental Champion, which is his first big title in WWE. I am not counting the North American Championship in NXT that he won. So that is his first like major championship win.
I'm going to be honest with you, and you're going to judge me for this hardcore, but I didn't know he actually wrestled until last night.
Who, Dominic Mysterio?
I thought he was like Corey Graves.
We're moving on to the next question. Oh my God.
I was like, oh, this dude just hangs out with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, just kind of hangs out. I didn't realize he actually wrestled.
First of all, he is Daddy Dom, JJ.
He's something.
Now, here's the reason why I tried calling you last night. Because Randy Orton was making his way to the ring, and I forgot about this open challenge. So I tried calling you to be like, this is going to be a tiebreaker deal. Like, who do you think's going to come out? And you didn't answer your phone because you were in Myrtle Beach, and it was Easter. So you didn't answer your phone. And because I was on Twitter, and I saw, what if it was Joe Hendry? And I was like, I need to call JJ. And you didn't pick up your phone. I didn't even know if you had a guess of who you thought was going to come out.
I would not have guessed. Well, so this is the second time I've met this Joe Hendry guy. And it's the second time because I watched the Royal Rumble and then like the highlights of this one. And again, I was like, who the hell is this guy? Him playing guitar in the background and him going swing, swing or whatever.
It's wave your hand side to side.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, this guy again?
So do you believe yet?
I believe I laughed my butt off whenever Randy Orton spun and looked at the camera after RKOing him.
But did you like when Joe Hendry spun and looked at the camera and then got hit by an RKO?
I enjoyed that too. That was fun.
I was so upset we didn't have enough time to make that prediction.
I'm kind of upset that Joe Hendry, who, after doing some research, found out he's a big deal at TNA. Did not know that.
He's their world champion, JJ.
But it was kind of disappointing to see him get squashed.
The match went 3 minutes and 10 seconds from what I see on Wikipedia.
Squash. Why would you squash the world champion?
Well, he got some moves in. They let him do his big moves. And also, just like you were told, they probably just came up with Joe Hendry coming out at not the last minute, but like, probably the night of the show, and was just like, hey, you got 5 minutes for this, including entrances, go. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah. So let's see what else. Logan Paul defeats AJ Styles. I 100% know I picked Logan Paul.
You did. And what are they doing with Styles? Why is Styles there just to get squashed all the time?
So I don't think it's a bad thing that AJ Styles lost, because he's already a huge star and everything. So I think Logan Paul needed that win because they're probably going to lead to bigger things for him.
I mean, it's very obvious that people like Mysterio, people like Paul, like they're just trying to promote these guys that people have been like, oh, this guy, really? And they're getting over with the fans because of it. And now WWE's starting to see that. So I do agree with you there.
Now, did you see Karrion Kross try and come out and help AJ Styles win?
Use the knuckles, man. Sweep the leg. No, I have honor. And he loses.
That's more like the main event from John Cena and Cody Rhodes, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Well, and AJ Styles. He literally took the brass knuckles and threw them, didn't he?
Yeah, he did throw them. And Karrion Kross supposedly on one of the WrestleMania post shows cut a promo and basically got the internet buzzing because he said like, oh, well, I miss funerals, this and that. And of course, I'm not featured on the WrestleMania card, blah, 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 blah. And it's pretty cool. It was a very good promo. I would suggest watching it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's not like the John Cena promo from after WrestleMania where he just says, that sounds like some internet clickbait. It's very poor journalism. Next question.
I like when the journalists start laughing at that.
ESPN, a reputable source.
Any notes on Logan Paul and AJ Styles, or do you want to go to the next one?
There really wasn't many. Like, Logan Paul is like known for having these viral moments, and I don't think there was very much viral moments. It was just more of a match to get him over. You just kind of reacted to something. What are you gonna say?
Speaking of viral moments, Drew McIntyre taking a tweet picture.
That was amazing. I went on Twitter right away. I went on Twitter right away. I was like, he's doing it again. And so he did it before.
It's amazing. I got a good laugh out of that.
I went on Twitter right away, and our parents were still at my house, and I showed them my phone. I'm like, that's what he just tweeted.
That was incredible. I was scrolling on Facebook before I watched the highlights, and I saw that picture, and I was like, there's no way. Oh yeah. And that's outstanding.
And the very next match, Lyra Valkyria and a returning Becky Lynch defeats Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that one right. But I didn't get one thing right, which is who was fighting with Miss Lyra.
Well, it was supposed to be Bayley, but I don't know why they took Bayley out.
Evidently, she hurt herself.
I don't know. I really don't know. We'll just have to find out as life goes on. So, yeah, I did. I think I picked that one wrong.
You did, but I think everyone won whenever Lyra's partner came out and the fans went absolutely just crazy.
The man, Becky Lynch. And that was last on my bingo card because she left WWE and I was just like, no way, she's done. So I didn't know who it was going to be. That was the last person on my radar.
And she did great. It was a great match.
Yeah. And so what's the score right now? What's your score and what's my score?
Chris, you're winning by 1. It's 7-6.
This is a lot closer than we thought.
It is, except that this next match you got right, so you win.
But who'd you pick?
I picked Cody Rhodes.
And I picked John Cena.
Yes, indeed. So, man, I did not see that ending coming.
Now, what? Travis Scott coming out?
To Fiend.
So, if you watch the whole match, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you decide to watch the whole match. It was very similar to when we watched The Rock versus John Cena at MetLife Stadium. It was finisher. He hit 4 AAs. One of them was an avalanche AA, which is from the second rope. And Cody Rhodes kept kicking out. Cody Rhodes hit a crossroads, ref bump. And then Travis Scott comes out, Fiend, and then another Valor moment. Just like, oh, should I hit him with the title? It's like, no, John Cena's bad. Hit him. Kill him. Like,
yeah, two things. If the AA didn't work the first 4 times, maybe try a different move.
His AA is very strange now. It's like, it's not really a finishing move anymore. It's more of like a transitional move now.
That's so sad. That defeated the whole purpose of what it was meant to be.
I think John Cena, because he's a heel now, he doesn't want to do like the very fancy AA combo he does, which is he hits it and then he grabs the person's arm and does like a roll over top of him and picks him up again and then hits another one. But if you're a heel, right, you don't want to do something that flashy. So that's why I imagine he didn't do that.
That's why he kicked him in the nuts instead.
Mm-hmm. And did you watch John Cena's entrance?
Yeah, it was just a big white John Cena on the screen. Nothing flashy.
Nothing flashy. The fans
It's
get
not.
nothing.
Oh my god. What are your opinions on the ending of that match on John Cena winning?
I'm happy he won. The Wrestling Observer, which is a podcast, talked about, it was like, what are their names? Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. They said that this main event was not going to be as good as the first main event, and I was like, let me give John Cena a chance. And you watch it, and it was just not that I'm a wrestling expert, but just like it seemed like a very boring match. Just a lot of punches, a lot of throw off the rope, and John Cena as a heel, slow, methodical, let the fans react, everything like that. It's kind of what he did, but the finisher after finisher after finisher, I don't know.
I agree. I think they had a chance to redeem it at the end if like The Rock came out and they did something with that because of the evil empire that they're building. But instead it was just like it just kind of ended.
Yeah. And so the crowd was fully behind John Cena. And after he won, now everyone on the internet just wants to be like, that match was boring, it was dumb, blah blah blah. And it's just like, this is what we all wanted, though. We wanted John Cena to win. Maybe this is what he wants to happen: have a boring match, get the fans pissed off. And now on Monday Night Raw, which started 2 minutes ago, but we're fine. uh Now on
It's
Monday Night
streaming
Raw,
now. You just restart it.
I know, he claims that he's going to ruin wrestling for everybody.
Text me because I'm not going to watch it. Text me and let me know what happens.
Just watch the highlights tomorrow, just like what you did for Wrestlemania.
But I like whatever you tell me.
Oh, okay.
I like your opinions.
Other notable moments, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The reason why his entrance took a very long time is because there was fan footage of him driving the quad and missing the ramp to drive up. So he had to back up the quad and drive up the ramp. And not that I'm a quad expert either, but like the front tires were very skinny and the back tires were very big. So it looked like he went to turn and the quad kept going forward and it hit the barricade and a woman just flew backwards.
Oh God.
And it's it's really bad when WWE CEO Nick Khan comes over to make sure the woman is okay.
Oh God. Was she okay?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess.
We'll assume. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was one notable moment. And the post conference, it was just that John Cena thing that I found very hilarious.
I didn't realize that Becky Lynch is has a kid with Sami Zayn.
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, thank you, because that kid is the cutest little girl ever. They were at the press conference.
Did you see Seth Rollins' Jesus cosplay?
Oh, I did not. I'm glad I did not see that.
It was the day before Easter, so he came out wearing a black robe and had a flamethrower and was shooting it into the air. Then the lights went off, and he took off everything, and he put on these long sunglasses, and on the sides had like thorns, and stuck his arms out, and then a white light came on him as he was wearing all white.
I don't know if I like that.
That man is the king of drip, though. I think he could get away with it.
You know what?
Maybe it was a tribute to the one upstairs,
Sure doesn't seem like it. Seems more like, how can I get their attention?
I think it was a pretty good tribute. I think it was pretty touching to the OG.
I will have to look that up because that sounds ridiculous. I love it though. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it was sounds like it was like some room for improvement as every WrestleMania is, but it was a really fun show.
It's very hard to beat last year's WrestleMania and the year before, if I'm being honest. And the year before that, if I'm even being more honest, because it was like banger after banger after banger. And then that one had a lot to live up to. And there really wasn't much build to a lot of matches. And you had extra time too, because they made this towards the end of April rather than the very beginning of April.
Oh, that's fair. That's very true.
So you had all that time to fill. And I'll be honest, like, I feel like I kind of tuned out the rest of the build to all the other matches because it was so long getting to it.
It makes sense because isn't WrestleMania typically what April? I just had it written down like April 6th or 12th or something like that.
It's usually the first weekend in April.
That's what I thought. What made them change their mind?
I don't know. I think it might have been the March Madness tournament. That might have been one of the things.
Oh, that's fair.
Even though the March Madness tournament lands on a Monday most of the time.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, either way, it just happened to be on Easter. I hope that they were able to accomplish what they needed to accomplish.
Oh, I think they did. They drew big crowds, over 120,000 people over the whole weekend. Also forgot to say Stephanie McMahon kicked off night 2. Just saying welcome to WrestleMania. Triple H led the Hall of Fame. I watched a whole hour-long speech. It was very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who got inducted this year?
Triple H. Yeah, he headlined it.
He headlined. Oh, okay. I thought you meant that he like emceed it. I didn't realize he was actually being inducted.
No, he did not MC it and do an hour-long speech and was just like, oh yeah, is there other people to talk to?
I own the company now. I want to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, who will be in the 2025 Hall of Fame? Triple H, Michelle McCool, Lex Luger, The Natural Disasters, and the first time they ever inducted a match called the Immortal Moment, which was WrestleMania 13 match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is the match where Stone Cold was in the finisher of Bret Hart, the sharpshooter, and Stone Cold Steve Austin's face was bleeding.
Oh, they could do that now? They're going to put matches in the Hall of Fame?
Mm-hmm, yeah. They used to do the Warrior Award. I don't know what happened with that. That might have been a Vince McMahon thing, and they're just like, we're moving on. And now inducting matches into the Hall of Fame, I think, is a great idea.
It's cool. I mean, I cannot wait till The Undertaker throwing Mankind off the Hell in a Cell gets in there.
Oh, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it will 100% be.
Which happened in Pittsburgh.
It happened in Pittsburgh, in Mellon Arena.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Downtown.
So overall, I give this WrestleMania 7 out of 10. The redeeming factor was the triple threat CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins match.
I give the highlights a 5 out of 10.
So thank you for listening to this episode about WrestleMania 41. We'll be back next week, hopefully talking about something Pittsburgh wise. So you can listen to this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Latest updates on Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram. And we release episodes every single Wednesday, which is now the banner on our Facebook page.
I love that banner. That looks really good.
Oh, thank you. Made it myself. So yeah, I don't have anything else, but I've been Chris.
I've been JJ.
And we'll see you real soon.